Bueno, el autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses. Bueno, el autor...
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles does not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
En la Plaza de Reyes, la Sumenta, Soplón. Yeah. ¿Qué vas a saber? ¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltóme. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flujo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Elevé mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tablet? Juro por mis aguas que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chinchado neto, búscame por Pico Sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi pro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle taco pro. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjame decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el Black Sea Metal de Plaza de Kings. Motherfucker, Soplón.
Nero Luigi, man, desempeño en la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, Money Gang Gang, yeah, yeah, Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto. Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como luzco. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto, pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. Está súper rafina la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un style. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás, yeah. La calle limeña aquí nadie la dueña, ya nada es igual, yeah. Tienes que respetar, yeah. Tienes que respetar, yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad, yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás, yeah. La calle limeña aquí nada le dueña, ya nada es igual, yeah. Tienes que respetar, yeah. Si yo soy tu papá, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cinco Mob, negro, yeah. Cinco Mob, nigga, yeah. Nero Luigi, man. Incas Mob, yeah. It's Money Gang. Yao. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman pa' que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el Ness. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3. Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en CD brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré el ola que los expande. Aunque esto me piquen la madera, no sirven ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero tras la barrera y llego con la novedad. Niña, tú solo espera que ya encontré la manera. He visto bastante por querer lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso al depósito, yo soy de púlpito pa' que el mundo conociéramos de esta parte mejor intérprete capaz de esta cordillera. Sin luz afuera, que el espectáculo es dentro, la calle es mi templo, tiembla el pavimento, cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas, la calle un poema, se siente desde cuando entro, y a toditos estos drogaditos que creen que rapean, los regreso al centro de mi balcón. Yo he visto el clown del clon en la misma gestión, pero a la malla no llega el balón, y para esta pantalla no existe patrón, yo ya me sé la cuestión, y doy fe por cada renglón, consciente de la operación del final Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Yango, la maldita casa, Plaza de Rey y papá, el Nero Luigi, Black Cimental, hip hop peruano. En la maldita base. Yao.
Simply Spice.
Hey, what's up, family? Shalom, Jewel. What's going on? Yeah, what's up? Don't care. Yeah, man, my bad, bro. I had to tend to some stuff, and I was kind of tired, man. To be honest, and I couldn't. I wasn't in the mindset to do it. So all praises, man. I had a good night rest. Hope y'all doing well. I know you guys that keep the Sabbath today, so I guess happy Sabbath or Shabbat Shalom, however you guys say it. Listen, today's class, I hope, session, whatever you guys want to call it, I hope you guys appreciate it, okay? The topic is called Psycho Americans of 1910. Now, I'm going to say something to you guys. By the way, let me get my camera here real quick. Get that fixed. My background looks kind of weird, fam. I guess because I have some lights on here. Let me turn that off. That looks weird. Damn. So, all right. I don't have the best camera right now, so hopefully you guys are okay with that. But you're not here to see me. Anyway, let's begin. Okay. So whoever's gets here on time, perfect. If not, oh well. You guys can catch it later. So let's start with this right here, fam. Listen, there's gonna be two topics. I'm gonna spend time on one, and then I'm gonna move on to the other right quick. All right, maybe about an hour and a half on one, and an hour and a half on the other. This one here is called "A Psycho Americans of 1910," and then you guys will know what the next topic is. All right, so it's gonna be more like political stuff right now, and then we'll get into some scriptural stuff later. But two different topics. So let's begin with this one. I need you guys to understand that this has been a reoccurring thing. Remember, there's nothing new under the sun, okay? I'm going to speed this up to like 150, so then we don't have to sit here for 8 minutes. But I want you to pay attention to what he's talking about. This is AMLO mentioning a guy named Robert Lansing. Okay. Now, I had found this out about maybe 4 years ago. And I'm glad that this was finally mentioned last year, as you guys can see, 8 months ago, right? So let's listen in to what is being said right here. All right. In case you guys don't know, Robert Lansing. Well, I'll show you. I'll read it after, and he's going to read it too. All right. Let's go.
Las tradiciones que vienen de lejos, porque somos herederos de grandes civilizaciones. Y esos valores son los que nos han salvado siempre. Esas culturas nos han salvado. Y por eso el país siempre sale adelante. Enfrenta temblores, inundaciones, pandemias, malos gobiernos, saqueos. Y va a México, siempre. Se levanta.
Let me put in translation in case you guys don't understand what he's saying. Here it goes. All right.
Nuestras culturas. Entonces, sí hay gente muy buena en el Poder Judicial. No son la mayoría, pero sí hay. ¿Dónde está la mayoría de gente buena? En el pueblo, en las comunidades, en la familia. Ya cuando se trata de la parte política, de las cúpulas de poder, económico, político, ya ahí ya es otra cosa. Ahí ya sí domina más la ambición. Parece mentira, ¿no? Pero hay veces que los más ambiciosos y corruptos son los que supuestamente están más educados. Y puede ser, ¿eh? Porque una cosa es la educación y otra cosa es la cultura. La novela esta de Puzo, del Padrino, habla de que el Padrino, bueno, uno de sus hijos estudiaba en una universidad del extranjero. Imagínense los que han ido a estudiar a universidades famosas del extranjero.
All right, you guys need to pay attention to what he's saying, okay? He's talking about now foreign people of Mexico being educated from other countries, all right? Let's go.
Y que han llegado a ser presidentes. Lo que han hecho. Decía un jefe de Estado, a ver si lo conseguimos, el dato, de que para dominar a México, un jefe de Estado del gobierno estadounidense. Esto es bueno para los jóvenes, porque esto estoy seguro que los jóvenes...
El embajador de los Estados Unidos.
No lo saben, ¿no?
All right, so what he's saying is that a lot of our people don't know that these are the statements that have been said for centuries. You see, I couldn't find a book because I was reading it last night and I can't remember which one. I was just, kind of distracting myself a little bit. And it talks about how the Americans, it didn't say white people, it said the Americans, they feel superior over you so-called Mexicans. And like you said, all will be revealed. You're right. Their spirit is ignorantly coming out. And what I mean by ignorantly is that they're not aware that it's spilling through their bloodline, sweating off their skin, bro. The hate. But let's continue, because remember, the sword is a two-edged sword, right? Well, the same is with enemies. They'll come at you in two different directions. So let's make sure that we know, like the other readings we had the other day, who your enemy is and who your brothers are. Let's go.
Creo que era un jefe de Estado, jefe del Departamento de Estado. Sí, fíjense lo que decía, lo que le recomendaba, creo que a un presidente, ¿no? O a alguien también, de que no hacía falta intervenir con las armas al país para dominarnos. ¿Sí lo tiene? A ver. ¿De qué año es? El 20. Es buenísimo. Sí, es la carta del exsecretario de Estado, Robert Lance, dirigida a William Rudolph Hearst, en relación a la campaña de su cadena de periódicos, así es el dueño de los periódicos, ¿no?, que era muy poderoso, para poner en la presidencia de México a un estadounidense y terminar con la Revolución Mexicana, que amenazaba los intereses de las grandes corporaciones norteamericanas, principalmente petroleras. Fíjense lo que decía. México es un país extraordinariamente fácil de dominar, porque basta con controlar a un solo hombre, el presidente. A ver, no, espérate, es que lo que viene es lo mejor. Sí, esto, ¿no? Tenemos que abandonar la idea de poner en la presidencia mexicana a un ciudadano norteamericano, ya que eso conduciría otra vez a la guerra. La solución necesita de más tiempo. Estos son los años 20 del siglo pasado. Qué profético. Debemos abrirle a los jóvenes mexicanos ambiciosos las puertas de nuestras universidades y hacer el esfuerzo de educarlos en el modo de vida americano, en nuestros valores y en el respeto del liderazgo de Estados Unidos. México necesitará administradores competentes y con el tiempo esos jóvenes llegarán a ocupar cargos importantes y eventualmente se adueñarán de la misma presidencia. Y sin necesidad de que Estados Unidos gaste un centavo o dispare un tiro, harán lo que queramos y lo harán mejor y más radicalmente que lo que nosotros mismos podríamos haberlo hecho.
Wow. I mean, I'm not, if this kind of like just walked over you guys. Here, let's just continue. Let me show you this real quick. Let's see if this is the link that I was looking for. Nah, not this. Show you this real quick. This is from a book called The Literary and Legal Genealogy of the Native Dispositions. All right. Dispossessions. The Marshall Trilogy. Okay. I'll give you guys the link. I want you to know what it is actually saying. See it right here, I think. Yeah. We're going to go to page 24, and then we'll go to page 25. Let's read this real quick. It says, well, it reads, John Marshall was the longest serving Chief Justice in Supreme Court history and played a significant role in the development of American legal system and federal Indian law. He established that the courts have the power, that the courts have the power of judicial review, which is the autonomy to strike down laws that violate U.S. Constitution. Marshall had been credited with cementing the position of the American judiciary as an independent, influential branch of government. The Marshall Court made several important decisions relating to federalism, shaping the balance of power between the federal government and the states. Among these decisions are the three cases that form the basic framework of federal Indian law in the United States, referring to as the Marshall Trilogy. It is tempting to quote Worcester's assertion that law has no force in Indian country to the Supreme Court. but such as assertion doesn't implicate an important constitutional concern. Now, in case you guys don't know this, it's regarding the three cases: Johnson versus McIntosh, Cherokee in 1823, Cherokee Nation versus Georgia, 1831, and Worcester versus Georgia in 1832. In most accounts, these rulings are said to have pronounced upon land rights of Native Americans. As an outlined in the introduction to this book, a central claim is that the trilogy is an exemplary of a set of discourses from which subject collective known as Native American Indians were produced. Now, let me go to, according to simply get covered, the people Marshall with other broad being a community people who were just resortly other than I don't like now. Let me get to the point. All right. In case you guys don't know this, I've mentioned it before. The doctrine of discovery. Okay. The doctrine of discovery, which is attached to manifest destiny, which is what purport to it, I guess, or developed or enhanced or manipulated the Monroe Doctrine. Okay. So just in case you guys are not aware of it, that's what it means. Now, let's continue reading. The doctrine of discovery was the law of colonialism introduced in North America by the European powers in the early 17th century, meaning in the 1600s through 1700. Okay. The doctrine was a legal fiction. A legal fiction. Listen, do you want to know what fiction means? Yeah, I'll show you. Just look up the word fiction. Fiction meaning imaginary events. Okay? Fake. The doctrine of discovery was the law of colonialism introduced in North America by European powers in the early 17th century. The doctrine was a legal fiction drawn up by colonial powers to divide the globe into spheres of influence. In its essence, it was a legal veneer to appropriation of both lands and peoples, while simultaneously maps were drawn up to manage potential conflicts between European colonial powers. By the symbolic art of painting a flag in the ground of newly discovered lands, England, France, Spain, and Portugal laid claim to the territory, not only in North America, but around the globe. The doctrine had its genesis in international law drawn up by the Holy See in the 16th century. Remember this. It was based on several papal bulls. Now, we know what these papal bulls are, in case you guys have been following history. All right? I don't got to get into it. You guys should know this by now. And if you don't know it, then look it up. But this should be info you guys should know by now. If you watch this channel even one or two times, you know I've mentioned these things. The papal bull largely incorporated the language of domination and conquest. The bulls were issued to kings of Spain and Portugal to convert, subjugate, and enslave non-Christian lands. First in West Africa, and then in the Western Hemisphere. The bulls Romanus Pontifex in 1854 stated in part of King Portugal of Alfonso. Now, for you dumb so-called Hispanics that believe in this 12-type chart and you always want to say Esau. Listen, read your history. Portugal was very well known for being black people, meaning they were mixing with the Africans. And a lot of these Portuguese were convert Jews, and most of them were Swarty mofos, okay? And the Spaniards were too. But you had now people that were in power that were lighter skinned than they were. Now, when you say Christian, those are white people. When you say Europeans, not always applies to white people. It applies to people of color too. So let's not forget how in the world did Portugal, because in 1480 and 60 and all of these times, they were benefiting from the conquering. And these Swati people were enslaving Africans too. So this is why it gets confusing when one West wants to say that they ruled Europe. Because then that means that you're enslaved black people. So that means you're not the people. because you were the slaver. But anyways, that's another point. Papal bulls largely incorporated language limitations. Okay, so now let's go in here. It says here, we therefore weighing all and singular premises with due meditation, and noting that since we have formally by other letters of our granted, among other things, free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all Saracens, which were Africans, and pagans whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ, who wheresoever placed in the kingdoms of dukedoms, principalities and dominions, positions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and any possessed by them, to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms, dukedoms, countries, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and to convert them to his and their use and profit. I didn't know Christians were converted like that. Anyways, further evidence of how the papal bull provided religious legal cover to Christian monarchs and their servants is extracted from a close reading of the papal bull. But listen to this. Let me see if I'm going to go to the point. The next page, is it the next page? Give me a second. Here it goes right here. The rights, this is on page 26, second paragraph. The rights created by Holy See give legal justification to Spanish and Portuguese explorers to seek out land, and by mere reading of Christian demands for religious conversions, establish the pretense of legality. Meaning that was the excuse of saying, oh, we're here to supposedly liberate you. To the appropriation of lands, their peoples, and their cultures with the mere symbolism of arrival or the cross, correct? Come on, man, shoot. The alleged legal rights incorporated into the papal bull were later used to establish the doctrine of discovery, a doctrine that formed legal basis to the Supreme Court ruling in Johnson versus McIntosh. So this U.S. Supreme Court law used a fictitious or a legal fiction based on the papal bull to then take the lands of our people. That's what it says right here. A Supreme Court justice voted against our own gente and said, well, the papal bull gave us the right to take these lands. So these Christians believe in Revelation. Matter of fact, I'll bring it out. These Christians believe in Revelation, right? Revelation? Was it 13:10? Which is it? Man, I can't even remember the scripture, man. Come on, somebody help me. 13:10? It's been a while. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Here he goes. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. White America. Here, I'm going to do this. White America and Black America. You have no legal right to these lands. Zero. You based these lands, the takeover, the stealing. Now, let me say something to you Republicans or Democrats, right? It's like, well, that's the past. Okay. Honesty to she or no list. Why am I bringing this up? Constitutionalists. Who are they? Who are they? The constitutionalist is someone who believes in the principles of limited government and individual rights, meaning they believe in the original Constitution of 1776. This society of ours, you like to use laws based on history, but then you tell us not to use history to justify law. Does that make any sense? You literally voted against our people in 1823 because the doctrine of discovery applied to you. But yet, the papal bull was even, as a matter of fact, the papal bull has been repudiated by the Christian church in 2022. Where are you Christians at? This is just the beginning, fam. The relationship between international law up until the 16th century and the decisions of Johnson ruling in 1823 cannot escape the accusation that it offered a pretext for conquest in disguise of Christian denomination. A ver, where are you Christians at? Hey, come on, Cat Malone. Where's your Christianity at? Aren't you Italian? You related to so-called Christopher Columbus? Cannot escape the accusation that you technically disguised yourself as liberators of the Christian doctrine to dominate our people. It's even in newcomers in pagans in the promised land. Woo! Check this out. Decodes the papal bulls to reveal how a framework of religious domination was sanctified as legal doctrine and a doctrine while becoming law, was derived from religious assertions of what rights European colonial powers could impose on so-called heathen and non-Christian people. So now, let me ask you a question. Are you guys going to repudiate your doctrine of discovery? You see, you guys, I'm gonna tell you something, fam. I'm waiting for someone to come on board and tell me I'm wrong about everything I'm talking about. I don't political, Christian, Hebrew, because you guys are next. The central premises of U.S. Indian law and policy that the United States has plenary, virtually absolute authority over Indian nations on the basis of the discovery of North American continent by Christian people. Okay? Here, let me open this up. Sorry. Will be revealed as truly bizarre. That premise, I contend, is fully in violation of the presumed separation of church and state in the United States.
Bruh. Wait a minute. Who are you?
You are so good at saying we separate church and state. We love evangelicals, but you pass laws based on church. Just saw a video of Black Hebrew channel exposing other Hebrew cult leaders and other Black leaders as Freemasons, Supreme Solomon, and everyone in the comment section was freaking out. Hey, forward that link, man. I want to see it. Just put it here. I'll watch it later. Matter of fact, I'll probably watch it on the side and quiet and see what it says. But let's continue. Newcomb reveals the subtle yet profound decoding of the doctrine of discovery in the American context, a religious undercurrent that was embedded in international law until 1823. The international law of nations up until 1823 accepted, whether directly via papal bulls or indirectly via others issued by the kings of England, that heathen lands were subject to conversions and dominations based on their non-Christian attributes. Robert A. Williams Jr. in The American Indian in Western Legal Thought, The Discourse of Conquest, connects the pragmatic English act in their relation to their American colonies and the laws of nations based on Christian dominations over heathens. Williams writes this, and then I'll move on to the next page. As reflected in the proclamation of 1763, which was when the 13 colonies purchased Florida. So you people of Florida, whether white or black, right? You guys need to do your history on that part. See, the 13 colonies were just a little bit up north. It was not Florida, nor the southern parts, nor Texas, none of that. And I'm going to show you a video that you promised the British not to go further. Everything about these people, white or black, are deception. Y'all are full of deception. That's why you're fighting each other with your own doctrines of devils. You're falling apart, and it's okay. I enjoy it. This imperial discourse accepted the necessity of peaceful purchases of frontier Indian lands under strict pragmatic approach of Indian affairs. The imperial policy ultimately rested on the ancient legitimating foundations of the superior rights of Christian Europeans in lands held by non-normative divergence, meaning like non-Christian people. English crown, by virtue of English discovery of the infidel-occupied lands of America, asserted that feudality derived prerogative rights of conquest over America. I'll just read this and then we'll let it go. The doctrine of discovery is a framework of colonial conquest transport within the holy see of religious piety and English legal justification. The sums of these two religious and legal sources underscore the nature of the law of nations up until Johnson ruling 1823. It is hard to avoid this harsh judgment of the doctrine of discovery as it founded the legal and religious justification of colonial conquest of North America by the major European powers during the 16th century through the 20th century. Not only did the doctrine of discovery provide a religious and legal veneer to colonial conquest, it also denied any rights of land or culture to the indigenous peoples who preceded the European incursions into North America. Let me see this. Oh, okay. Here, we'll stop. Let me see. Let me see what's going to say on the next page, because I don't want to keep saying we'll stop here and then that's it. Yeah, let's stop on this page over here on the bottom to the next one. All right. So let's go. That's right. The United States in other Western settler in other Western settler colonized states, the rule begins with the doctrine of discovery and its discourse of conquest, which denies fundamental human rights and self-determination to indigenous tribal peoples. In the United States, the doctrine has proved itself to be a perfect instrument of empire under the rules and principles of federal Indian law derived from the doctrine of the United States. From the doctrine, the United States acquired a continent in perfect good faith that its wars and acts of genocide directed against Indians people accorded with the rule of law. A close reading of how the doctrine of discovery was incorporated by Chief Justice Marshall in trilogy cases is offered in this chapter. At this juncture, it is important to take a measured look at the doctrine of discovery and its basis of religious and legal domination over indigenous land and people, not only in North America, but throughout the world. Equally, once an understanding of what the doctrine of discovery meant and how it was derived as realized, one can also understand how European superstates, clothed in the trappings of the Holy See and English law, developed the course of law of nations, a discourse that formed an important part of discursive archive that situated the martial ruling of Johnson in 1823. Y'all can look at this book. You guys want to tell me that I'm going too far back, but you guys are constitutionalists. I know you don't like this topic. I know you don't. And I don't care if you don't. I'm not here to please you guys, man. I already know half of y'all already hate me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Check this out. Let's learn a little history.
What if you could do SEO?
Okay, learn a little history here. We're going to find out exactly how the takeover began. So this guy, yeah, he has it in English. Perfect. All right. So let's listen in. It's a 11-minute video, but I'm going to speed it up so then we can get through this quickly. Okay? So remember, pay attention to the progression. And I want you to pay attention to when Florida was becoming part of their town. So all of you dummies that are from Florida that passed this law to get rid of our people, you guys realize that? Well, we'll find out right now.
Cuando el Imperio Británico llegó a América, iniciaron a colonizar solo esta pequeña parte del continente, y conforme iban creciendo terminarían trazando una línea que iba a lo largo de esta pequeña cadena montañosa. Esta línea buscaba dividir a los indios nativos de los colonos anglosajones, ya que los nativos americanos habían ayudado a los británicos en su lucha contra.
See this here? This is the 13 colonias, 13 colonies. Okay? Look what it looks like. 13 colonies between 1689 and 1763. So you see all of this? white America, black America. You see all of this here? You see, there was already black people here. Yeah, you guys helped conquer Florida. And it used to be a sanctuary state. This was a sanctuary state. So some of you guys that were up here that were actually slaves, not just perpetual, because some of you were, you would get away and come down to Florida, to a sanctuary state where they spoke Spanish. Yeah, you guys first spoke Spanish. All you Floridians, you black and white ones, you guys all first spoke Spanish. You have no idea of your history. Well, let's continue.
Esta línea buscaba dividir a los indios nativos de los colonos anglosajones, ya que los nativos americanos habían ayudado a los británicos en su lucha contra los franceses, por lo que como gratitud la
See, Latinoamericanos had helped the British fight the Spaniards. Let's go.
corona británica se comprometería a no invadir sus tierras, por lo que prohibió a todos los colonos ingleses establecerse al oeste de esta línea.
And here it shows that the 13 colonies, you deceivers, had promised Britain after this whole fight claim clear, right? That you wouldn't invade Indian territory. Why are you there? You reap what you sow. Y'all are complaining about people coming to this country and living in New York, whatever. Now you got black people complaining and all that, right? You reap what you sow. You stole what's not yours. Everything about you is a lie. Everything that you have is out of fiction. Like the money. You know? It has no value. It's just paper. It's not gold. It's not attached to gold. It's attached to the frequency of inflation. That's what it's attached to. I know some of you guys don't know what I mean. Let's go.
A todos los colonos ingleses establecerse al oeste de esta línea. Estos colonos eventualmente declararían su independencia de Gran Bretaña y fundarían su propio país. Pero el compromiso de estos colonos no era el mismo que el de los británicos, por lo que a partir de este momento ignorarían esa promesa y paulatinamente iniciarían a moverse hacia...
See? But even after the promise, Estados Unidos, okay? You ignored the promise and you gradually began to move further. You want to say, that's the past, then stop, then throw away your constitution and give us our lands back. I'm talking to every single one of you, black and white. Give us our lands back, because it's imaginary. You use the papal bull to justify the takeover. The doctrine of discovery, that's what you use in court. In court, you separated church and state, but yet you use church to justify state law. Oh, fucking hypocritical, man.
Hacia el oeste, masacrando de forma masiva a aquellos indios que alguna vez habían sido sus aliados. Con el paso del tiempo, expandirían su territorio, comprando todas estas tierras.
Then you continued even further. But you said 13 colonies, like, I'm going to stop right there, Britain. Spain, like, help us out because France is going to beat us. And then what you do? What did you do? You turned your back on us. See, there's no way to trust you guys ever again, white or black, because it was both of you nations that did this. Look at the statistics on voting. It's always white and black. It's hardly any other nations. Let's continue. To me, this is the doctrine of discovery. You guys believed that you were the people of the book. What year did the whites gain power in Europe? It was progressive. It started in about 1300. And it kind of lasted up until, I think, Napoleon, man. That's when it was fully converted white power. But it wasn't completely done in America. In 1865 is when it was fully white power. If you look up the Reconstruction Act and all that stuff, right? There's something called white standard, that they were actually passing laws to determine who would be qualified as somebody under white standard. You could be black looking, right? Or like me. But if I was considered a European, I could prove it, I would be called white standard. So then that's when the the preference of mixing with lighter skin became prevalent, because before it wasn't necessarily like that. They were enslaving our people. They wanted nothing to do with us other than our sisters. Let's go.
Y dejando ver su verdadera intención, llegar al Pacífico. Por lo que a principios
See, the true intention to reach the Pacific, so that at the beginning of the 19th century, the United States, let's go.
del siglo XIX, Estados Unidos ya tenía 27 estados y un montón de territorio al oeste, pero el país aún no lograba extenderse de mar a mar. Por lo que su primera oportunidad se presentaría cuando los ingleses se encontraban en las guerras napoleónicas. Por
Right here, bro. That's what I was talking about. Let's go.
lo que Estados Unidos lanzaría una invasión contra la 14ª colonia para conquistarla y obtener su salida al Pacífico. Pero los ingleses no se quedarían con los brazos cruzados y los echarían fuera de Canadá, y en el proceso atacarían Nueva York y destruirían Washington para darles la mayor humillación de su historia. Por lo que entenderán que mirar al norte ya no era una opción, por lo que entonces voltearán al sur, donde un virreinato se encontraba peleando su independencia contra un imperio.
They tried to go north. You sneaky bastards. Y'all tried to go north. They whooped your ass. Let's go.
Y es aquí donde inicia nuestra historia de cómo Estados Unidos realizó el mayor plan para lograr su gran objetivo, extenderse hacia el Pacífico.
You're not imagining it.
Después de su fracaso en Canadá, Estados Unidos empezaría a desear una pequeña porción de tierra perteneciente a España, llamada Florida. Primeramente intentarían comprarla por $5 millones, pero la respuesta que recibirían sería que no. Entonces,
Hey, so all of you guys that are not familiar with your own Florida history, okay, prior to the 13 colony stuff, just be mindful of this. Every time, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to educate you guys. I'm not. I'm here to educate our people. Let's go.
el presidente de esta época enviaría a grupos a establecerse ilegalmente en Florida para que produjeran revueltas contra España.
This is what I'm talking about. This right here. America goes and sends people, or U.S. comes and sends people here to cause a revolution. Libertad, whatever, right? But they were already free because they wanted this land. It's like, remember, it's like they do in every single Latin American country right now, man. When they want something, they cause chaos.
Levantando aspiraciones independentistas. En este momento los españoles pasaban una etapa muy difícil. Todas sus colonias se estaban levantando en su contra, por lo que cuando España vio que Estados Unidos estaba incitando revueltas en Florida, decidirá mejor sentarse a negociar y sacar algo favorable. De esta forma se firmarían los tratados de Adams-Onitz, donde se fijarían los límites entre México y Estados Unidos, y la Florida pasaría a ser parte de la Unión Americana por $5 millones. En este momento, el Imperio Español sabía que si no poblaba rápidamente Texas, los Estados Unidos podrían intentar meterse también a la mala.
They did. That's exactly what they did. Let's go.
Pero no tenían suficiente población para enviar a esta región, por lo que concederían un permiso especial para que un empresario estadounidense pudiera alquilar tierras y traer un pequeño grupo de familias a poblarlo, bajo la condición de que se convirtieran al catolicismo, no trajeran esclavos y aprendieran el idioma del imperio. Pero poco tiempo después, esta colonia se independizaría, por lo que el permiso debía ser ratificado por este nuevo gobierno, por lo que el emperador mexicano mandaría elaborar una ley de colonización para Texas, por lo que este permiso quedaría parado indefinidamente. Durante este periodo, el nuevo imperio venía atravesando una situación económica muy complicada, por lo que los Estados Unidos verían en esto la oportunidad de comprar Texas, por lo que asignarían a un embajador llamado Robert Joel-Poinsett para ofrecer $5 millones por Texas. Pero la respuesta del emperador sería que no. Poinsett, no satisfecho con la respuesta, formaría la masonería e incitaría la oposición en México a través de un general llamado Santana para realizar un golpe de estado contra el emperador. De esta forma tomarían el poder y formarían una república, a semejanza de los Estados Unidos.
You see this here? Do you see this systematic work? Now I'm going to read. Once we're done with this, I'm going to read you something. Let's go.
Eventualmente entregarles el permiso especial para que Estados Unidos pudiera mandar a más colonos a poblar Texas, siguiendo las mismas reglas iniciales. Durante los primeros años, México atravesaría una gran inestabilidad política. La instauración de la República causó una pelea continua por el poder, así que los presidentes venían y se iban en cuestión de días, por lo que los colonos tejanos aprovecharían para romper las reglas y traer a más colonos y esclavos. Con el paso del tiempo, esa obsesión estadounidense de extenderse hacia el oeste regresaría, por lo que los Estados Unidos enviarían a otro diplomático a comprar Texas, pero la respuesta volvería a ser negativa. Paradójicamente, en este tiempo, una fiebre independentista se alzaría en Texas, por lo que ahora ya no estaban interesados en tener a México como su gobierno. México enviaría a los militares para recordar a los colonos que todavía estaban en México y que técnicamente estaban alquilando estas tierras. Aunque estúpidamente el presidente de este momento, sí, nuevamente este tipo, decidió ir a comandar este ejército. Eventualmente estas peleas se intensificarían, ya que Texas peleaba con suficiente dinero y armas, pero vivirían una serie de batallas donde los colonos estadounidenses perderían, como por ejemplo la Gran Batalla de Álamo. Esta pérdida estimuló aún más a los colonos a venir a Texas y unirse contra México, y de esta forma lograrían vencer a esta unidad militar y capturarían a Santa Anna, obligándolo a reconocer la independencia de Texas en 1836, por lo que el mapa ahora pasaba a verse de esta forma. México siempre consideró esto.
Hey, remember the doctrine of discovery? The law was passed in 1823, and this happened when? In 1836. Things that make you go home, huh? Let's go.
36, por lo que el mapa ahora pasaba a verse de esta forma. México siempre consideró esto como ilegal, porque Santa Anna estaba fuera de sus funciones, pero eso no detuvo a los tejanos de instaurar su país y delimitar sus fronteras, que lógicamente México tampoco aceptaba, ya que las colocaba más arriba, por lo que ahora México pasaba a tener una disputa territorial con la República de Texas. Pero la persistente inestabilidad política causó que México fuera incapaz de resolver estos problemas, por lo que ahora estamos en 1845 y Texas pasaba a ser el estado número 28 de Estados Unidos, por lo que esta disputa ahora sería entre Estados Unidos de América y México. Y es justamente aquí cuando esta historia se vuelve totalmente turbia. En Estados Unidos, James Polk llegaría como presidente gracias a su discurso de campaña donde prometía la reincorporación de Texas y Oregón a la Unión Americana, aunque esos territorios jamás habían sido de Estados Unidos. Pero como su predecesor lograría en los últimos meses anexionar a Texas para arrebatarle el crédito, este tipo agregaría un nuevo objetivo a su lista de deseos: conseguir esta parte muy específica de México, llamada California. Lógicamente no podían tomarla porque si ellos no eran bárbaros como los imperios europeos, por lo que el primer intento de Polk fue comprar California por $25 millones. México dijo rotundamente que no. Entonces Polk decidirá seguir la vieja tradición de sus predecesores y buscaría que México mordiera el anzuelo. Recuerden que esta franja de territorio sigue en disputa, por lo que Polk, enojado porque México no aceptó su oferta, enviaría un pequeño grupo de tropas a este territorio para que marcharan enfrente del río Bravo, en donde claramente estaba el ejército mexicano.
Aren't they trying to do that now? Huh? They're trying to do that now. Yeah, they're talking about going in there again. Let's go.
Resguardando esta zona, por lo que entonces el lado mexicano responderá a lo que parece ser un ataque inminente de Estados Unidos en su territorio, cayendo justamente en la trampa de Polk. Un grupo de 1,600 soldados mexicanos habían atacado a este pequeño grupo de 80 estadounidenses, matando a 11 de ellos y capturando al resto. Rápidamente Polk se dirigiría al Congreso para decir: sangre estadounidense ha sido derramada en suelo estadounidense, a pesar de que no había sucedido realmente en el suelo estadounidense. Pero eso.
Hey, they just did a Karen. You know how Karens, they complain about what you do, and then like they trigger you, and then you get mad at them and you check them and they try to call the cops. That it didn't come from women. It came from the white man. Y'all are Karens.
Eso ya no importaba. La muerte de estadounidenses era suficiente para que el Congreso declarara la guerra a México en 1846. Claramente hubo algunas críticas por esta decisión. El propio Abraham Lincoln reconocía que no había una justificación real para la guerra, pero ya no había marcha atrás. Entonces los Estados Unidos iniciarían la invasión a México, lanzarían su campaña conquistando primeramente el territorio que Polk quería, California, algo ilógico teniendo en cuenta que la zona del conflicto estaba muy lejos de ahí. Eventualmente iniciarían a avanzar en el norte y bloquearían también todos los puertos de México, pero lo que parecía ser una guerra fácil y rápida empezó a alargarse demasiado. Pero Polk, preocupado de que había prometido algo rápido, enviaría a un espía español a hablar con Santa Anna, que estaba exiliado en Cuba. Santa Anna, que para este momento ya podía traicionar hasta a su propia madre, le revelaría a este espía la forma más rápida de tomar la capital, por lo que los estadounidenses permitirían que regresara a México para que tomara el poder y firmara los tratados de paz. Sin embargo, los traicionaría en el proceso. Con este tipo no se podía confiar. Entonces Estados Unidos iniciaría una batalla anfibia en marzo de 1846 desde el puerto de Veracruz hasta capturar la capital de México 5 meses después. De esta forma Estados Unidos ganaría fácilmente esta guerra e impondría sus condiciones de negociación, que para este momento ya era claro que Texas hasta California ya no serían discutidas. Pero las exigencias de Polk eran mucho más grandes que esto. Él quería Tamaulipas para tener el puerto de Tampico, quería la mitad de Coahuila, Sonora, Chiapas y toda Baja California.
Do you guys see that now? Do you guys see that if it wasn't for you so-called Mexicans, it would be over? Do you guys see that? Who's the real enemy that's at the neck? Who's really at the neck of the enemy? I need to stop acting stupid. You're believing foreigners. And I'm almost done on this subject because I'm about to move on a fat one. Let's go.
También querían mantener por perpetuidad el paso del istmo de Tehuantepec. Otros legisladores y grupos de su gabinete querían anexionarse incluso.
Remember, keep in mind, while all of this is happening, they were getting rid of our people here in Yucatan, sending them to Cuba. And who was doing the transaction? Santana. Hello? Man, it all makes perfect sense now. I look, listen, all praise to the Most High, to my creator, to our creator, because I can see right through things. I'm not distracted by words and I'm not distracted by fake history or what people say. No, man. I see right through y'all.
Incluso todo México, por lo que enviarían a Nicolás Trish para lograr alguno de estos objetivos. Sin embargo, este tipo decidió tomar una decisión diferente que le terminaría costando su trabajo y ser marginado de la política, reclamar solo Texas hasta California. Dentro de sus memorias, Nicolás dirigió una carta a su familia diciendo lo siguiente: si esos mexicanos hubieran podido leer en mi corazón en aquel momento, se hubieran percatado que mis sentimientos de vergüenza como americano era mucho más profundo que el suyo como mexicanos. Aunque no podía decírselo entonces, era una cosa de la que todo bien intencionado americano estaría avergonzado, y yo lo estaba intensamente. Mi objetivo no fue el de obtener todo lo que yo pudiera, sino por el contrario, firmar el tratado lo menos opresivo posible para México, que fuera compatible con ser aceptado en casa. Gran parte del Congreso no le gustaba la idea de aceptar a personas no blancas en su país, por lo que aceptarían aprobar los tratados que Nicolás Trish realizó. De esta forma, México pasaba a perder 2 millones de kilómetros cuadrados, significándole la pérdida de la mitad de su territorio, y siendo indemnizados por 15 millones de dólares. De esta forma, Polk eliminaba a California de su lista de deseos, y justamente al mes siguiente, los británicos decidieron venderle Oregon para prevenir una guerra contra Estados Unidos, que pudiera representar una pérdida de Canadá. Unos años más tarde, Estados Unidos pedirá nuevamente a México que le vendan este pequeño pedazo de tierra, por lo que para evitar otra guerra, se decidirá aceptar la oferta, formándose finalmente la frontera sur de Estados Unidos que conocemos al día de hoy. Una frontera que se forjó primero a partir de una rebelión de colonos estadounidenses, luego de una guerra a gusto de James Polk, y finalmente con esta pequeña compra para cubrir las demandas estadounidenses. Los nativos americanos fueron expulsados de sus tierras y los derechos de los propietarios mexicanos fueron borrados cuando la Constitución estatal se promulgó. Paradójicamente, el problema más grande de Estados Unidos en la actualidad es tratar de parar la inmigración proveniente del sur que paulatinamente ha modificado la composición étnica de esta región. Es como si los fantasmas de esas viejas costumbres realizadas durante el siglo XIX estuvieran revirtiendo contra ellos al día de hoy.
Y'all hear that? Did you guys hear this? Hold on, let me slow it down, man. He just said something crazy. Let me slow this down, bro. I wasn't expecting this. Look, listen to what he says.
Estuvieran revirtiendo contra ellos. Paradójicamente, el problema más grande de Estados Unidos en la actualidad es tratar de parar la inmigración proveniente del sur que paulatinamente ha modificado la composición étnica de esta región. Es como si los fantasmas de esas viejas costumbres realizadas durante el siglo XIX.
It's as if the ghosts of those old customs carried out during here. Let me just let him say it, man.
19 estuvieran revirtiendo contra ellos al día de hoy. Espero que te haya gustado este video. Dejaré abajo en la descripción la mayoría de las fuentes utilizadas. Muchas
So I know that's a lot to absorb, family, but you know it's important to know your history, man. If you guys are just gonna go around and you know go only by little things that you've been told, and
new
you're
leaked
not doing the
documents
right thing.
indicate
Look,
that
check
the
this out. I'm gonna go a little bit more. Watch this. This is interesting, man. Look, I'm telling you. Oh, no. I lied. Sorry. My bad. Okay, so now here it goes. I'm going to read a couple of things that these guys have said about us and of their true intent, okay? This is from a book called Secreto 1910. It's in Spanish, so let me read it. It says, nuestra máxima fundamental debe ser jamás permitir la intromisión de Europa en este lado del Atlántico. That's why when they talk about Russia or China trying to help out over here, that's a big no-no. Look, 1823, the same year that the Doctrine of Discovery, that James Monroe wrote the Monroe Doctrine, which was because the U.S. Supreme Marshal justified its rights. 1823. It all starts to make sense now. Okay? Now, James Monroe says, habremos de considerar cualquier intento por parte de los poderes europeos para extender su sistema a cualquier porción de este hemisferio como un peligro para nuestra paz y nuestra seguridad. Basically saying that if any foreign nation wants to come over here, then they're invading our security, okay? No podremos ver ninguna interposición dirigida a controlar a cualquier de las naciones recién indepensadas de este continente americano. See, it says that we cannot let all these other nations try to control these other ones that are just become independent por parte de cualquier potencia europea, sino como la manifestación de una deposición hostil hacia los Estados Unidos. So, if anybody wanted to help Mexico or Central or South America, white America and black America would take it as if you can't do that. It's not benefiting us. It's just white and black America, okay? Not just white people. Get that right. Stop lying to yourselves. Let's read this here real quick. Si la Gran Bretaña busca dividirnos o crear un partido europeo en América, su ministro no podría dejarse si no nosotros nos valemos de nuestra influencia para derrotar sus propósitos. That was Joel Roberts Poinsett. Sir H.G. Ward, la misión de Poinsett es embrollar a México en una guerra civil para felicitar por este medio de adquisición por los Estados Unidos de las provincias del norte del Río Bravo, Texas, Nuevo México y California. So la misión de Poinsett es embrollar. What does embrollar mean? Hold on. Means to recruit, to perform. So what he's trying to perform is a civil war in Mexico, so it could be easier for the U.S. to take over Texas, New Mexico, and California. I got one more. Same book. Joel Robert Poinsett, 1826. He dedicado cada instante de mi tiempo al gran propósito de crear el Partido Americano, la gran logia masónica de rito yorquino en México, auspiciada por la gran logia del Filadelfia. You see that? Masonry. What you were talking about, bro. It's true. It's all the Mason work. That's why Nate the Snake, he doesn't prophesy shit, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. At all. There's nothing that he's prophesied because everything that he uses is off books. It didn't come from a spirit. And he's only saying what is not true. So how can that be prophecy? Let's go. Here's another thing.
New leaked documents indicate that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, or I should say, from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, indicates that the United States government is very upset with the government of Mexico because they have the audacity to want to spend some of their, resources on the people of Mexico as opposed to spending those resources on the priorities of the United States government. I'm not kidding. That is what this leaked document indicates. Before we get to the details of the leaked document, let's talk a little bit about how The Intercept, which reported this story, obtained the document in the first place. So the leak comes from that young man, Jack Teixeira.
You guys know, do you know that leak? The famous leak last year. That's why he went to arrested him and all that, right? So look, they're complaining about the fact that AMLO, regardless of, and Meshi, you may know this. Hey, by the way, I'll praise, bro. That reminded me of the video game, man. Remember that video game back in the day? It was Atari, and it was like, you would use bombs to kill the bees or something. My bad, bro. I'm an older dude. You know what I'm saying? We're about the same age. Anyways, if we recall, oh, man, what was I gonna say? I got distracted by the bomb. Anyways, let's continue.
Who decided to leak classified documents in.
I remembered about the two types of masonry that's going on, right? How they're competing against each other. Let's go.
A Discord. Now, this was online, of course, and later he was arrested for doing this. There are other documents that Teixeira allegedly uploaded, but have not been officially confirmed. And the document we're about to cover belongs in that category. The United States government has confirmed some of the other leaked documents, but this isn't one of them. Now, The Intercept has been reporting on the unconfirmed batch of documents, and they're a pretty trustworthy outlet. They do great reporting. And so that's the reason why we're talking about this, but it is important to give you that caveat as we move forward. So that aside, let's get to the leaked document itself. We have an image for you. It shows you what the leaked document says. And an excerpt from it reads as follows. President Lopez Obrador's federal budget for 2023 gives priority to social spending and signature infrastructure projects rather than the investments needed to address bilateral issues with the United States, such as immigration, security, and trade. López Obrador's meager investment in migration, security, and trade-related organizations will probably undermine Mexico's ability to follow through on commitments to stem the flow of irregular migrants and fentanyl to the United States and boost economic competitiveness in North America. So look, there is a lot to unpack from the two excerpts that I just read for you. For one, it is true that in recent months, especially, López Obrador has decided to invest more in social spending in Mexico, and that has helped to make him very popular. So López Obrador's 2023 federal budget presented to the Mexican Congress last fall does increase funding for social programs, including a significant raise for the pension provided to older Mexicans. It also prioritizes large infrastructure projects, which are mostly concentrated in southern states of the country. This social spending has been working out for him. His approval rating currently stands at 65%. And López Obrador's government has also raised the minimum wage, something that the United States has failed to do since the Bush administration, provided cash and food assistance to older Mexicans, as well as scholarships for students nationwide. And by the way, it's worth noting that Obrador absolutely has played along with the United States immigration policies, and I'll get to those details in just a moment. But before I do, what do you make of this, Cenk?
So this lays bare who the United States government works for. So this isn't about Mexico, it's about us. Unfortunately, still the same guys. They work for corporate interests. So this is not a document that says these are national security interests for America. You can make that argument on the migration.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's corporate interest. Let me see. I have something to show you guys here. I'm almost done with this because I wanted to get to the point here. I want to point this out in case you guys never heard of this. It's called the Agrarian Reform Law. In 1952, mandated the redistribution of idle lands in excess of 223 acres. It was regarding compensation for appropriated lands, right? There's a guy named Jorge Ubico. He was the Central American Napoleon, was a Guatemalan dictator, a general in the Guatemalan army, and was elected to the presidency in 1931 in an election where he was the only candidate. He continued his predecessor's policy, giving massive concessions to United Fruit Company. Who is that? An American multinational corporation that traded tropical fruit growth in Latin America. So now, do you guys realize that a lot of the people that are coming north are from Central America? Yeah. Like the gentleman, our brother said, maybe they're ghost. And guess who put this guy? Look, listen, he was the only elected candidate. So we just found out that America likes to do this systematic approach. It says here, I'll read the same book. Where's it at? Let's see. I think it's this one. Is this one? This one. I'll read this. A finales del siglo XVIII, la mayor parte del continente americano estaba en manos de los imperios el español y el británico. En julio de 1776, en ese mismo continente, 13 colonias británicas declararon su independencia respecto a Inglaterra y se hicieron llamar Estados Unidos de América. En el década de 1810, una gran parte de las colonias españolas en América se rebelaron contra España y declararon su independencia. Entre ellas encontraban la Nueva España, que hoy llamamos México. Por el momento, aquellos países, las colonias de España en América, se encuentran en las mejores manos. Solo temo que estas resulten demasiado débiles para mantenerlos sujetos hasta que nuestra población progrese lo suficiente para ir arrebatándoselos parte por parte. Thomas Jefferson, 1786. So we know now that the Gregorian law was a way for these Latin countries to pay them back. Watch this. I'm almost done. The ambassador in Mexico, Daniel, Secretary of State, right? Says here, protocol, consider department, chair, which am I looking for? A Gregorian. To avoid present position. Gregorian. Here it goes. Agrarian claims were, yeah, pretty much. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to leave this to the side because I should have done a little more homework on this, and I think I missed, because I could go on this, man. I don't want to. But let's just consider the facts, okay? Why are a lot of Central Americans coming over here? It's kind of like the guy said, man. It's probably the ghost. So let's remember, family. I'm done on this topic, okay? Remember, do your homework on this right here. Educate your children on the doctrine of discovery. Teach them exactly what that means. That the doctrine was a legal fiction drawn up by colonial powers to divide the globe into spheres of influence. So every time they try to say that, oh, that's the past, we don't benefit from it, well, you're living off the Constitution, which is the past. And you guys have constitutionalists. You Republicans are constitutionalists. You guys are all about the Constitution. Watch this real quick. The Supreme Court rules American Indians do not own land. Here, I'll end it with this topic. Watch this here, and then we go. Remember, do this, man. Do the research. I give you guys what I find for you guys to continue to learn. And then maybe your spirit will wake up and you'll find out what's going on with this. Let me see this, bro. My bad, I didn't see that. Word throughout all South American that doors will open South America borders. Never done in Mexico history. Freemasonic backdoor agreements. Those caravans, all South American, Asian tagged along. Yeah, it's true, man. They're all put in there for purposes. Watch this. It says this is from Native Voices. It says the first 3 court cases, the Marshall trilogy, that became the foundation of American Indian law is decided. The case involved a series of land transfers in 1770s. Illinois Pankashaw Indians in what is now Illinois State sold some land to Thomas Johnson. After American independence, the Indians sold the same land to the U.S. government, which then sold it to William McIntosh. You see what I'm saying? In Johnson versus McIntosh, the Supreme Court under Chief Justice Marshall upon the McIntosh family ownership of land purchased from the federal government. Its reason, since the federal government now controls the land, the Indians have only a right of occupancy and hold no title to the land. Marshall based the decision on doctrine of discovery, referring to the way colonial powers laid claim to newly discovered lands. In other words, title to the land lay with its discoverer, the Papa Bull. Psalms chapter 83:5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, man. That's beautiful. All right. Perfect, man. Hey, way to segue into the next topic. Okay, fam. So now, hopefully you guys can appreciate this. Lord willing, man, you guys did, maybe feed off that information. I hope it feeds you guys. Here, I'm gonna give you this link so you guys can try to see if you can, read the book, purchase it. I think it's like $56, man. It's not a bad book to purchase. All right, but it's pretty deep. Okay, so now let's move on. Let me say something. Oh, man, I like this part here. Oh man, I like this part here. So you guys do me a favor, man. Take out your Bibles on this one, okay? Because I'm just gonna read it. And I usually like to show you guys the scriptures, but I want to get to the point. I'm going to read you some scriptures, and you guys are going to know why. Appreciate you, bro, for sending me that TikTok. Matter of fact, let me get it. I'm going to show you guys this. Why does this matter to me? Hey, does this matter to me? Okay, I'll tell you why this matters. No, that's not it. That's not it. This right here. This snake. The snake is real. Nate the Snake. He's on Instagram. Oh, poor little Nate. Poor little Afro Puff Nate. My Canaanite. Far distant brother. Oh, I guess I got to do it. I guess I got to do it. Okay, so here goes Nate right here, right? Nate the Snake from IOIC. Okay. He goes and posts this video. The color of the Jews is written in the Holy Scriptures. Genesis 2:7. Jeremiah 18:21. Job 30:30. Let me tell you, Genesis 2:7 is wrong because if you actually dissect Genesis 2:7, I actually proved that it's red. You're not red. Several say that. I don't know, man. Give me the scripture. But let's listen in. Okay? So here's the point. Let's listen.
Do you feel equal to white Jews?
אנחנו יהודים לכל דבר. אנחנו אין לנו ארץ אחרת. ארץ הקודש זה מה שאנחנו גם מרגישים ככה. זאת אומרת, למרות שיש מוסדות כאלה וכאלה שלא רוצים, לא כל כך מקבלים אותן.
בנוסף, במקור, גם במקורות, מתואר הצבע של היהודי הוא שלנו. לא הלבן והבלונד והעיניים כחולות, לא.
So you said you all are the original Jews.
Yeah. Very.
Okay. Let's begin. Psalms 133, verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment. I've never seen a West African, or an African for that matter, a full-on African, with a long beard down to his garment. No, you guys have woolly hair. So it goes like this. Okay? And we're not talking about somebody trimming it down. We're talking about like it's a long beard. Long beard. Long beard. Here's an example of a long beard. I'll just use an example because you know what? They're going to talk about this guy. Look, that's a long beard. But he's not African. Shit, we look more like these guys. Okay? Let's continue. I'll just give you guys the scriptures and you decide. You decide. I'm not here to convince y'all. I'm fully rooted. I don't know about you guys. Psalms 19:12. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster and covered it with a cloth. That's like goat's hair. That's like goat's hair. Verse 14. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, he said, he's sick. And Saul sent the messenger against to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. And when the messenger came in, behold, there was an image in the bed with pillows of goat's hair for his bolsters. My dear Jesus. We're not done. You guys decide. Solomon 1:6. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun had looked upon me. For my mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keepers of the vineyard, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. You hear that? Let me read it this way, because black people don't know how to read. Don't look down on me because of my color, because the sun has tanned me. Nate, can you tan? Can a black person come on the board and tell me they can tan? Let me read it real quick. Psalms 82. 6, 7, and 8. Ye are gods, I said, and all. Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. We shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all the nations. Yeah, I read that before. That's ye are gods. I can't remember why you mentioned it though. My bad, bro. Sorry. Just letting you know. Let me go back. Psalms. Let's see this one here. So again, it says here, don't look down on me because of my color, because the sun had tanned me. Why? My brothers were angry with me and made me work in the vineyard. And I had no time to care for myself. Why? Because instead of being in the house, attending to her beauty, right? She was out in the vineyard, attending to the fields, which means you would be the only one that could tan. So, okay, I've never seen black people tan. And no, don't say, oh, light-skinned black people can't tan. Y'all get red. Stop it. Stop lying to yourselves. Here's another one. You guys decide. I'll get it for you right now, bro. Give me a second. Nehemiah 13:25. It says here, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair. I know this sounds kind of silly, right? But you can't pluck black people's hair. You can't grab it. Like, I know when I'm little, my mom used to grab me like this, bing, right here on the side, bro. Ooh, she would pull it so hard, man. So I think one time she pulled like a good portion of my skin off. You can't pluck black people's hair unless you have pinchers. You guys want to keep it logical and factual? Let's keep it logical and factual. Let's go back. You guys decide. I'm not here to convince y'all. Y'all want to be black, be black. Shit. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast drove eyes within thy locks. Thy hair is as the flock of goats. Gosh darn it. And they say that the Songs of Solomon is Solomon. Six 5. Turn away thine eyes from me, for they have overcome me. Thy hair is as a flock of goats. I won't do that again. 7:5. Thine head upon me is like caramel, meaning caramelo, like caramelo, like like mine, tan, not black, caramelo. No sean pendejos, cabrones. Okay? It says thine head upon thee is like caramel, and the hair of thine head like purple, meaning dark, black, like jet black. And the only way you could see that is if you actually have straight hair and pulled back, for example. And you can see the shining of it. Jet black. Yeah, decide. John 11. Let's continue. John 11:2. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointments and wiped his feet with her hair. I've never, ever. I don't think black women can do that. You have woolly hair. And no, you can't say, oh, some women, no. Those are mixed. There's that you got white in them or bloodline in them. But you guys are West Africans. You guys are woolly. Nappy. However you want to call it. Curly. Tight curls. It says here that Mary, the mother of the Messiah, had long hair. And she wiped his feet with it. What did she do? With woolly hair, she would have to put her head down like that. No, she grabbed it and she went like that. Well, you don't believe me? Of course not. Because you drank the milk. You drank the Kool-Aid, and that's a pun intended. John 12:3. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. First Corinthians 11. Does not even the nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? You guys don't have long hair. Your hair goes up. This is long. 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 But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her. Black women don't have long hair. It's fake hair if you have long hair. Or if you do have long hair, it's because you mix with us or the white man. Oh, hold on. Nope. Shh. Oh, damn it. It always does it to me. You bastards. You bastards. Oh, give me a second. Oh, my dear God. I literally just. Oh, man. Anyhow, but if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her. What are you going to say? Oh, no, God punished us. And that's why. No. Black people have woolly hair. Okay. 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefaced and sobriety, not with broided hair. Not with fancy hairstyles. Yeah, that's right, bro. Here, I'll share it in Spanish. Here, look, in Spanish, right? A su vez, quiero que las mujeres se vistan con modestia, con respecto hacia los demás y con decencia. Que no se adornen con peinados exagerados. Or peinados ostentoso. Or crespo. In case you guys don't know, ostentoso is this. Images. Hold on. Why am I using this one? I don't know. What the hell, man? I don't want to use this. That's weird, fam. Why is it using it? Why is it doing this? Oh, that's why. That's why. My bad, fam. Man, why is it doing this, man? This is not even the kind of. I never use this here. Why is it doing this? Hold on a second, family. This is bothering me. Oh, man. No, I don't want that. Hold on. Crespo. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'll show you guys. So you guys don't think I'm BSing you. Blue letter Bible. Blue letter Bible. Okay. Go to Timothy 1. 1 Timothy 1. 1 Timothy. 1 Tim 2:9. All right. Look at the Bibles. Elaborate hairstyles. Braided hair. Elaborate hair. Braided hair. Braided hair. Braided. 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 Plaited. Broided. What is broided hair? Broided hair. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Broided hair. That's broided hair. It told our women not to do that. Okay? I'll check it right now, bro. Give me a second. I just don't want to lose track of this. This is braided hair. Okay? Braided hair. Then it says here, encrespados. Cabellos encrespados. Ooh, this is going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. What does encrespado mean? Bam. Whoa. That's encrespado. That's encrespado. That's encrespado. That's encrespado. What is it that you guys don't read? Do you not pay attention? You're making Christianity so valid. Job 30:30. Revelation 2:7. I'm sorry, Genesis 2:7. Peinado estonzo. Twisted hair. Look. The Bible says not to do this. You see how that's not long hair? It's not long hair. Anyhow, enough of that. Let's continue. Revelation 9:7. Here it goes right here. Revelation 9:7 says, and the shapes of the locusts were like those, like unto horses, prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as the crowns like gold. And their faces were like the faces of men. This is like the old school airplanes, okay? Back in the day. They're long. Old school airplanes. This is World War II. Let's talk about World War II. And they had hair as hair of women. Why? Because the planes back in the day, they would leave trails of smoke. And it looked like long hair. Okay? And they had hair as hair of women, and their teeth as the teeth of loins. The smoke that they left behind. Anyhow, let's continue. All of this for is a poor point. I'm not. Trust me. I'm going somewhere with this. Don't think I'm not. So apparently this is what's going on over there right now in this island here. They burned it, right? Let's see. Not sure if Ezekiel. Let me read it for you, bro. Hold on, because now we're gonna switch. Let me see. 13:14. Ezekiel 13:14. So I will break down the wall that they have dubbed with untempted mortar, and bring down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. I like this one, man. So I will break down the wall that they have dubbed with untempered mortar, meaning their fake ass history, and bring down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered. The doctrine of discovery. So we now know how you guys manipulated, took advantage of us, and all of a sudden now you want to act as if, oh, no, don't look back. No, we didn't do that. No, that's the past. But we're constitutionalists. But we're Republicans. But we're Democrats. You sit on 1776 law. And you only have lands from a fiction, a religious fiction. Anyhow, check this out. There's a point to this. Let's go.
Listen to me. The problem in Trinidad and Tobago no is Listen to me. The problem in Trinidad and Tobago no is Rowley.
no is Camila, no is UNC. The problem in this country is the ignorant people. You understand? The 50% of the African people in Trinidad no like Indian peoples. And the 45% of the Indian peoples in Trinidad no like African people. You understand? Listen, if you are Indian, the Indian live in the India. You are Trinidadian, right? And the African people live in Africa. You are Trinidadian. You understand? Everybody is Trinidadian. The mother of my daughter is Venezuelan.
And you guys are probably wondering, like, why am I bringing this up? Everything matters to me, my family. Everything matters to me. Everything matters to me. Let's listen to this idiot again. Here we go.
Jew in Israel, do you feel equal to white Jews?
אנחנו יהודים לכל דבר. אנחנו אין לנו ארץ אחרת, ארץ הקודש, זה מה שאנחנו גם מרגישים ככה. זאת אומרת, למרות שיש מוסדות כאלה וכאלה, שלא רוצים, לא כל כך מקבלים אותן.
בנוסף, במקור, גם במקורות, מתואר הצבע של היהודי, הוא שלנו. לא הלבן והבלונד והעיניים כחולות, לא.
So you said you all are the original Jews.
You know, hey Nate, IUIC has never embraced Ethiopians. IUIC's 18th Nations shows that Ethiopians are Africans. But now, all of a sudden, Ethiopians matter to you guys, or so-called Ethiopians. Now, I understand why they would feel this way. If you live among people, you feel like we feel, racist. But here in America, we get races they look like you. And that look like them, who you're comparing about. Listen, family, I'm telling you, One West has never said so-called Ethiopians are Israelites. All of a sudden now, this fake man right here, this demon, now he cares. Now it's now there are people. So convenience. But we want to know something? The Most High always does things for a purpose, family. And he does things for a purpose. We got a brother that is demolishing these idiots.
The East.
And here, let me get to this point here. Let me get to this one. Where is it at? This one here. All right. Let's listen in. I'll show you some things that he's proven. See, he's making sure that you guys understand that West Africans is one thing. Okay. So he's going to clear this up for us. And he's clearing it up every single day. Let's go. This is, hey, listen, this is not a so-called Hispanic. This is a so-called Ethiopian. So-called Ethiopian. If One West or BHI or FOPs or anybody watching, hit the link. See how ballsy you are.
The East African OG is back on your ass for the 23 shot. And I'm here to further assure that Black Americans are not Israelite. They have never been Israelite. And they will never be Israelite. If you are mad, call your mother. Let your mother call her grandmother. And let your grandmother call Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton can even call Jesse Jackson if he wants. Jesse Jackson can even call Benjamin Crump. Just know that I want all of the smoke from you people. Now let us deal with it. What you have before you is a map showing you the origin as well as the migration of different Y DNA haplogroups. We Ethiopians, Somalis, Eritreans, all Afro-Asiatic Africans, we are E1B1B. This is known hands down. The Black Americans, the West, Central, and South Africans, they are all E1B1A. There's no way to deny this. Now, as you can see, E1B1A didn't even go north of South Sudan. It didn't even go north of Chad. These people went straight into West Africa, and then from West Africa into Southeast Africa and South Africa. If you research this, because I love when people research for themselves and not just believe what I am telling you. If you research this, you will see these Black Americans have their own Black American centric websites where they try to put E1B1A into Israel, and they're showing a migration from Israel into the rest of Africa. My children, that is a lie straight out of the depths of hell, and we are going to send it back to hell where it belongs. When you see these Black Americans doing this, pull up this chart or any chart like this, and you will see that linguistics prove them wrong. If, in fact, E1B1A was from Israel, you would see a trail of Bantoid/Niger-Congo languages leading all the way from Israel through Egypt, through the Sudans, through Chad, all the way down to West, Central, and South Africa. My friend, you don't see that because it is a total lie. If you get an African from the part that is shaved brown, take their DNA test, take the Black Americans' DNA test, you will see that these are one people. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not saying that everyone in the purple is a different race. No, we are all Africans. We are all the same race.
You hear what he said? Okay, pay attention to what he's saying.
But there are ethnic groups to this ish. There are levels to this ish, my children. And I have no guilt in, saying that. The DNA test of Black Americans were taken to a number of states, and this has been documented for many years. These Black Americans, they hate this. But again, I want the smoke. I need it. I am one of those Africans who I do not want peace. I want problem always. So please bring me all of the smoke. Bring your best. Come to the comments. Play word games, divert, do what you people do best when you're hit with facts. Because this East African is giving you people that pressure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll show you something. Watch this. He actually touches on it. Where you at? Where is it at? Let's see. Is it right here? Where it goes right? Where's he? He uses it. Zephaniah. There it goes. Right there.
So now that I am proving that Black Americans are not Israelite by proving Black Americans are not Semite, they are becoming so much upset with the East African OG. I don't understand their bitterness because according to Black Americans who claim Israel, they say the Bible is the word of God. So I don't understand their bitterness with me because according to the word of God, Israel was developed through the line of Shem, not the line of Bantu, not the line of Kunta Kinte, but the line of Shem. This means only Semites can be Israelite. There's no way around it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Take your frustration to our Father. You see, I know it hurts, but it's not my fault. Now that I am proving that we Hamites from Ham, like us Ethiopian Hamites, like us Oromo, our Afar brother, hell, even the Somalis, now that I am proving that we are more related to Israel Semites than any other group of so-called black.
And that's what he's talking about, that they are more related to them. And I agree with him. Because Ethiopians, so-called, are the most distinctive out of all of them, but in the northern part of Africa. And this is just my findings, that there's a relationship between Ethiopia and India. But let's continue.
Black people on the face of this earth, Black Americans are extremely agitated. When I hit them with that, they come to Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 12 for comfort in their soul, because they are so disturbed. And that says, we Ethiopians also, we shall be slain by my sword. That is the sword of the Lord. because I promise you, no other nation is going to do it. We're too beast mode for that. But I noticed they quote that verse as if it erases this verse, Amos chapter 9, verse 7, which says, "Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, said the Lord." You see? So that does not change anything. And if being slain by the sword disqualifies, Ethiopians from being equal to Israel as God, then hey, I guess God does not F with Israel anymore either, because he says in Zechariah chapter 13, verse 7 and 8, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones." Ooh, that's deep. That is deep. That is gruesome. "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." You see? So Israel is getting the same judgment that Ethiopians are getting. Most will die, but only a small remnant will remain. Hell, when our Father returns, hell, he's going to drop some ish. That's for everybody. So again, you Black Americans, you have to try better, because none of these verses show me where it says Black Americans are Israelite. You're only talking about my people, and even these Somalis are scattered worldwide. Do you not know that?
See, that's the point. That's the point, man, because they're trying to attach themselves to them as much as they can. But he's telling me that they're not the same people. So now, I wanted to show you this because one of my brothers here, appreciate you, bro, sent me this too. You guys are familiar with this. The Negroes to Hebrews, right? All right, so I'm gonna make sure that I don't get blocked on this, because I think this is a paid kind of show or some shit. All right, so we're gonna listen in for like a minute, and then here, I'll do it like this. I'm gonna show you something. So remember, hey, listen, everything I show you guys, and I think if you know me now, I connect all the dots. I know it sounds a little weird at first, like what's he going? And then you see the fruition. Okay, so just be patient, man. Let's go.
Now, this very well proves that the dark-skinned Davridian Indian people are the long-lost descendants of the ancient Semitic sons of Shem, Arphaxad, Ashur, Aram, Elam, and Lud. After all, long-lost. Now, this very well proves that the dark-skinned Davridian Indian people are the long-lost descendants of the ancient Semitic sons of Shem, Arphaxad, Ashur, Aram, Elam, and Lud. After all, Assyria in ancient times often overlapped the territory of Arphaxad, Ashur, Aram, all are Davridian Indian. Now, this very well proves that the dark-skinned Davridian Indian people are the long-lost descendants of the ancient Semitic sons of Shem, Arphaxad.
And family, I showed y'all this. I showed you this. And no one's denying that Shem was dark-skinned people. No one's saying that Shem was white looking. But what we're saying is Shem wasn't a Hamitic man. Nor did he have woolly hair. No, he was dark. But you see, just because they're dark doesn't mean they're Africans. I showed you the video earlier, right? This one here. This one here. These are Indians against Africans. You are not the same people. So this is the problem with you Black Americans, not all Black Africans or Black people. You Black Americans that like to twist history. Just because they're dark skinned doesn't make you the same people. Well, let's continue.
Said Ashur, Aram, Elam, and Lud. After all, Assyria in ancient times often overlapped the territory of Arphaxad, Ashur, Aram, and Elam.
Family, is this Africa? This is not Africa.
Proving that the original Shemites were a people of brown skin color like the Dravidian Indians.
See? Proving that the Shemitic people were like this guy here. Look at my face, fam. Look at my face. Does he look more like me? Or does he look more like Wesley Snipes? Does he look more like me or like Wesley Snipes? Yeah, I'll show you another one. These are our people de Oaxaca, güey. Mira, para que veas, cabrón. Look at that. Give me a second. Look at that. What are you talking about, man? This is Raza right here on the right side. And this guy's from India. North India. What'd you say, bro? Blacks are being brainwashed into believing we all came from... Hey, yeah, bro. Yeah, exactly. But now this guy has to submit. See, he brought this out last year. But I've been bringing this out way before this guy brought it out. Anyways, it's all good, man. I don't care. It's all good. Let's continue. Let's continue listening to this debacle. This debauchery. He's proving my point. And guess what, fam? You're going to love how I'm going to finish this.
Indian also proves that Eber, Peleg, Terah, Abraham, Nahor, Haran, Isaac, Jacob, and the Hebrew Israelites in the Bible could not have been white Arabs or white Jews. What else does it prove? It proves that the original Hebrews, the sons of Eber, were not all Negroid-looking people with tight curled woolly hair, prognathous jaws, and full lips. Why? Because not everyone in South Asia looks identical to Negroes in America.
Hey, look, hey, that's funny. He puts an Afro-Brazilian. They mixed with us, dummy. Anyways, that's one. Now I'm going to get to the point. Because see, they love to quote verses and claim all these things like, no, they couldn't have been like Jesus with long hair, but we just read that David had goat's hair. Let's go.
Were straight-haired, white-skinned people. To prove this, let's start with the Book of Jubilees, which is canon with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and the Beta Israel Ethiopian Jews. The Book of Jubilees, known as the Lesser Genesis, was found written in ancient Hebrew in the 2,400-year-old Dead Sea Scrolls found in Qumran, Israel in 1947. When the Book of Jubilees in ancient Hebrew was compared to the Ethiopic Book of Jubilees, it was considered, word for word, a perfect match. Now in the Book of Jubilees, chapter 8, verses 7 through 9, it reads.
So let's read it. 7 through 9. And she bare him a son in the 5th year thereof, and she, Salah, called his name Eber. And he took unto himself a wife, and her name was Azurad, the daughter of Nimrod, son of Cush. And in the second Jubilees, in the 7th week, in the 3rd year thereof, and in the 6th year thereof, she bare his son, and he called his name Peleg. For in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth among themselves. For this reason, he called his name Peleg, and they divided it secretly among themselves and told it to Noah. Now, I find it interesting because that means to me that the cradle of the world is in Asia. That's where the dispersion came, not in Africa. You guys are all confusing yourselves. So now, if you believe in Jubilees, well, I'm glad you do. I'm so glad you do. Because if you believe in Jubilees, like you say, it's canonized. It's canonized. Okay. Here we go, fam. Chapter 9. Same book. And Ham divided among his sons. The first portion came forth to Cush, towards the east, North Africa. To the west of him, meaning this way, okay? See, I'm going to get you a map, an African map. African map. All right? So the African map, it says here that Cush would be here to the east, okay? And to the west of him, meaning Cush, Mizraim, meaning here, okay? And to the west of him, Put, meaning here, okay? Yeah, 7 churches in Asia, bro. That's a good point. Give me that scripture. Just look for it. Give it to me. I'll read it. And to the west of him, and to the west thereof, on the sea, for Canaan, meaning here. Right here. This belonged to Canaan. Right here. West Africans. Right here. This belonged to you, Canaan. And this belonged to Put. And this belonged to Mizraim. And this belonged to Cush. Okay? She so eloquently put the whole canonized. Watch this. Shem also divided among his sons. And the first portion came for Elam, his sons, in the east of the river Tigris, till it approached the east. So now let's look at the map of Asia. Hold on. Let me look at the map of Asia. Give me a second. See if I can find the map of Asia. Map of Asia. Asia. Come on. Asia. Spell it. Okay. The map of Asia. Let's consider it. Okay. There it goes. Right there. Hey, matter of fact, let me download it. Save image. I can't save it. Hold on. Let me see if I can magnify it. There it goes. Okay. So it says here. Close this out. It says here, and Shem divided among his sons. The first portion came for Elam, his son, to the east of the Tigris River till he approached the east. Okay. So we're talking about the division here of these lands. The whole land of India. From approach to east, the whole land of India, okay, to the Red Sea on its coast, and the waters of Dedan, and all the mountains of Mebri and Elah, and all the lands of Susan, and all that is in the side of Farnak, to the Red Sea, the river Atina. Where's the Red Sea? Anybody know what the Red Sea is? I'll show you. The Red Sea is a map here. So it says here that from India to the Red Sea belong to Shem. Okay? Read the Bible. And Asher for the second portion, and for Aspharsad the third portion. Listen, and for Aspharsad came forth the third portion, all the land of the regions of the Chaldees to the east of Euphrates, bordering the Red Sea. So the Chaldees came out of the Arphaxad. Okay? and Aram, Mesopotamia. You guys can look it up. Look, I'll show you. And for Aram, there came forth fourth portion, all the land of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates. That's north of India, west, north, northeast. Yeah, basically all the kind of like all of Israel, Mesopotamia, like kind of like where Haran, like Assyria was, all that old land, right? To the north of the Chaldees, to the border mountains of Ashur, and the land of Ararat. The whole land of India, on the Red Sea, on the coast, and the waters of the Dan. Okay? Japheth also divided the lands of his inheritance, which was in the north part. Now let's get to the point here. I'm going to show you something real quick, fam. Where are you at? Hold on a second. I found this link, and it lets me read this. Because I found the Jubilees in another... where are you? Not this one. I forget which one it is. Reference? Okay. Jubilees 9. Let me see, Jubilees 8. I think I'm looking for Jubilees 8 real quick. I want to show you something. Oh, I passed it. Way past it. Prepare the first kid. I'm going to show you this real quick, fam. This is regarding going back to the time, all right? But I'm going to show you this about Abraham. Hold on. I think it's 8. Let's see. Federation. Give me a second, fam. Okay. Is of Abraham, but Abraham observed it. Hold on. Where are you? Can't find it, man. My apologies, fam. I wish I could tell you. Oh, matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go the old school way. The one I don't really like this one, but it's a little easier to comprehend. Okay. Talks about Abraham seeks to convert Terah from idolatry and knowledge of God. Watch this real quick. This is Jubilees, I believe. Which one is it? 8? See, that's what I'm saying. And it came to pass on the 6th week in the 7th year that Abram said to Terah, his father, saying, Father, he said, Behold, here I am, my son. And he said, What help and profit have we from those idols which thou dost worship, and before which thou dost bow thyself? For there is no spirit in them. For they are dumb forms. Hold on, let me read it like this. For they are dumb forms and a misleading of the heart. Worship them not. Worship the God of heaven, who caused the rain and the dew to descend on the earth, and does everything upon the earth, and hath created everything by his word, and all life is from before his face. Why do ye worship things that have no spirit in them? For they have all the works of man's hands. And on your shoulders do ye bear them, and ye have no help from them. But they are a great cause to shame to those who make them, and a misleading of the hearts to those who worship them not. And his father said unto him, I also know it, my son, but what shall I do with a people who have made me to serve before them? And if I tell them the truth, they will slay me, for their souls cleaveth. You see, so now we're starting to see some clarities here, right? So now let's continue. Cleaveth, for their souls cleaveth to worship them and honor them. Keep silent, my son, lest they say, and these words he spake to his 2 brothers, and they were angry with him and kept silent. And he kept silent. Let me skip here real quick. I'm going to go to this right here. Nahor, his brother, took himself a wife. And in the 6th year of the life of Abraham, that is, in the 4th week, in front of thereof, Aram arose by night and burnt the house of the idols and burned all that was in the house. And no man knew it. They arose in the night, and sought to save their gods from the midst of fire. And Haram hasted to save them. But the fire flamed over. He was burnt in the fire. And he died in the Ur of the Chaldees before Terah his father. and they buried him in the Ur of the Chaldees. The Ur of the Chaldees is here. Okay? But this same book talks about how Canaan is going to die. I'm not sure why you reference a book and then you ignore everything about the same very book. It says here that Canaan shall die by sedition. And Canaan seized a land that was not theirs. It says Ham and his sons went into the land which he has to occupy, which he acquired in his portion of the land. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon on the river of Egypt that was very good. And he went in, not into the land of his inheritance, but to inheritance to the west, meaning West Africa, that is to the sea. And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan and from the borders of the sea. Y'all are rebellious people since the beginning of time. And Ham, your father, and Cush and Mizraim, his brothers, said to him, Thou hast settled in the land which is not thine, and which did not fall to us by the lot. Do not do so, for if you do so, thou and thy sons will fall by the land accursed through sedition. For by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forever. Why didn't you read that? Why didn't you read that? So let's continue.
And she bare him a son in the 5th year thereof, and he called his name Eber. And he took unto himself a wife, and her name was Azurad, the daughter of Nimrod. In the 32nd Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 3rd year thereof. And in the 6th year thereof she bare him a son, and he called his name Peleg. For in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves.
Now they did, bro. They did. That's why they were up in Europe. They colonized Europe for 800 years. They definitely did. That's them, bro. I've been following them. But let's go.
For this reason he called his name Peleg, and they divided it secretly amongst themselves, and they told it to Noah. So here we see Eber taking a.
See this? So now he's mentioning in the land of Shem. Allá en el Rancho Grande, allá donde vivía. Look, man. Put one of these on him, bro. Put one of these, gorros on his head. Abram straight out of the Chaldees, Genesis 15:7, and he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of the land, out of the Ur of the Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit it, bro. Straight up. So check it. He said it himself. Remember, this guy looks like our people. I don't look that different than him. I'm not saying I look exactly like him, but I don't look that different than him. Same nose. Yeah. Forehead. Anyways, well, let's continue.
The daughter of Nimrod, a Kishite woman, to be his wife.
That he admits that the Africans are of a Hamitic race. Okay, let's go.
Knowing that Eber was a descendant of Arphaxad, whose land was ancient Babylon or Samaria, and Azurah was a Nubian Cushite woman.
Do these guys look African, like Black Americans? No, they don't.
What would this possibly look like today? Now note, Peleg was Abraham's great-great-great-grandfather, and Abraham was the grandfather of Jacob, the father of the children of Israel. From the Hebrew Strong's number 5680, the word Ibri, and the Hebrew Strong's number 5677, Eber, do we get the foundation for the word Hebrew. For example, in the Bible.
Now, let me show you something. And I won't take long on this one. So he mentions India. Okay, check it out. You guys are familiar with this, right? You guys are familiar with this, right? This is from a book called Gene Matlock. I'll show you guys in a little bit this. Oh, no, I'll read it. Watch this real quick. According to Inca myth, after the Great Flood, the Ayar brothers, the Kachi, Kashi, Uchu, Manco, and Auca, along with their wives, traveled to what are now Bolivia and Peru to see how the deluge had affected the people there. Why is he saying that? Ayar brothers, the Nagas. Jesus and Moses are buried in India, birthplace of Abraham and the Hebrews. I've been saying this since last year. The history of the Jew scholar, theologian Flavius Josephus, wrote that the Greek philosophers Aristotle had said these Jews are derived from the Indian philosophers. They are named by the Indians Kalani. Clear Cuts of Soli wrote the Jews descended from the philosophers of the India. The philosophers are called the Indian Kalanians and Syria Jews. And the name of their capital is very difficult to pronounce. It is called Jerusalem. Actually, no, it's pronounced Jerusalem, Jerusalem, not Judah. Jerusalem. That was the old way of saying it, not Jerusalem. Then it says here, let's continue. Yeah, I'll show you this. Remember this picture, right? Okay. See this picture here? Those are voladores. That's in Mexico. Okay? Mexico, India. India, right? India, Mexico. We see Mexico, India. India, Mexico. But that's not all. That's not all. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. This is probably going to affect some of you guys because you guys want to be like African Americans, you so-called Hispanics, man. I want to be black. I can't wait for the Messiah to return so he can give me woolly hair and fly around in the sky. That's stupid. Let's read this. In case you don't know your own history. It says here, Hindus reached America first. This is what the official historian of the Mexican government said in general outline of the history of Mexico. Negroes to Jews, shut your asses up. You just literally gave me what I wanted this entire time. You see, you're going to slowly give up the baton whether you like it or not. Because I'm not afraid to look at history for what it is. I ain't trying to be a certain thing. I either am or I'm not. It says, what is called the discovery of America is the meeting of two great current of races of people who, after a separation of extending over many centuries, were again joined after going right around the earth. Humanity, which originated in Asia, was scattered by the movement of expansion, which is by Peleg. Remember that? And it says here, at present, we are studying the native tongue and find at least as far as the Nahuatl, Zapoteca, and Maya language are concerned, they are of Indo-European, meaning Sanskrit. If it means Sanskrit, meaning we originated out of that area, that language seems to have origins of that area. I got more for you. Where are you at? Right here. And I got this from this book. Okay. The other day, hearing I can't really read that, day of festival, right? It was a day of festival. Where's the page? Okay. A little further, there were 3 swinging posts erected in this fashion. A post of some 30 feet in height was crossed at the top of the horizontal bamboo, from one end of which a man was swinging, suspended by a rope. From the other end, another rope was fastened to a horizontal pole below, which was turned by the men running around like horses in a mill. The man swung in a circle of perhaps 30 feet in diameter, supposed by 4 iron hooks, 2 through the flesh of his back, and 2 in that of his chest. Watch this.
Mariano, ¿esto qué es aquí en el malecón?
Estos son los voladores de Papantla.
Voladores de Papantla.
Papantla.
Papantla. ¿Y qué hacen ahí subidos?
Pues se hacen una danza, es una danza prehispánica, ¿no? Es que simulan con sus giros ahora se tiran y con sus giros simulan lo que es el calendario maya, ¿no? Más o menos las vueltas que dan entre los 4 pues son unas 260. Peligroso, sí.
Ah, ¿no llevan protección?
No llevan protección ninguna, van simplemente atados de la cintura con una cuerda. Aproximadamente estarán como 20 metros, ¿eh?
A ver. ¡Ay, ay, ay! ¡Hola!
Y se van descolgando. Y el de arriba, ahí sí, ¿eh?
Hola amigos, buenas tardes.
Hola.
Se agradece con alguna propina.
Let me read it to you, okay? As it's going through. It says here. It says, the man swung in a circle of perhaps 30 feet diameter, supported by 4 iron hooks. Let me go. A little further on, there were swinging posts erected in fashion. A post some 30 feet in height was crossed at the top of horizontal bamboo. From one end, a man which was swinging suspended by a rope. From the other, a rope that was fastened to the horizontal pole, which was turned by the men running around like horse in the mills. Y'all literally are giving it away. This is too easy. It's too easy, man. You know, it's like when they deny the truth, it literally puts us back to where we're from. I'm not done. It says here, how much more proof is needed to convince the skeptics? Just in the case is more needed, my skeptical readers should know that one of the principal Indian strongholds of Ayapa cult in southern India, near the Pampa River. Therefore, we need not to be surprised to find Pampas River in Peru and in Chile. Chapter 4, I mentioned several Indian places and cast names in Inca, Peru. However, if more convincing examples are needed, I present to you Pujas, Manu, Pisac, Puno, and Ayacucho regions. In Sanskrit, Pujo, honor, worship. Manu, patriarch. Pisha, a savage tribe of people in North India. Pune, a famous Indian city. Ayakushi, fortunate, lucky, leadership caste. This is the Raramuri of Chihuahua. Okay? Well, there's this thing called here, Rauri of Shiva. Lord Shiva. The Rauri of Shivava. That was a tribe. And we have the Raramuri, the Tarahumara group of indigenous people in America, in Chihuahua. Los Raramuris de Chihuahua. And we have the Rarauris of Shivava. Look, that's an Indian, one of our temples that they destroyed. You see 6 hands? Sometimes we try to interpret things that belong to us and then we ended up becoming them idols. That could be the 7 candlesticks. You see the snake? Look, the Maya, Hindu America, the Mayas and Nahuas of Yucatan and Mexico are immigrants of the Maga, the Nashu tribe, who pertain to the race of the navigators known by the Greeks as Phoenician, supposedly, right? And who continued in their new land in America to worship the rain god, and whose feathers of Central Asia they dedicated the signs of the cross, snake, common deity. Here, I got this one for you. From our brother. Los indios somos, los indios somos israelitas. I can't find the book, fam. I looked for it all morning. I couldn't find it. Asiatic Semites. Indio Otomi, Mexico. Here goes another picture. See, Egyptians knew exactly what they looked like. Royal scribes registering Negro and Asiatic prisoners. You see that? Negroes to the right. Asiatic Semitic to the left. I got this one for you. This is why I know that we came this route. This is from 1620, the West Indies of 1620. I believe that's what it's called. Ezra says that at the close of this extended journey, they colonized and lived in that region, which is called Arsareth. That very learned Arthur Genebrad, in book 1 of his chronology, states that Arsareth is the extreme point of Great Tartary and Scythia, and that it is a cape of promontory, which is boundaries of landmark dividing the old world from the new, above the Straits of Anian, and near which they crossed from that country to New Spain. So they could have gone by that route, or by India, meaning from Jerusalem to India, right? Hold on a second. Yeah, Jerusalem to India, crossing over, and then by India and then China. Since there, in that region of Cathay, the people inhabiting that country keep the Old Testament and the law of Moses. Somebody hit the link, please, and explain that to me. Although with many superstitions, which we understand, this is a full and sufficient proof that members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since that is clear from their observation of the laws. And from there, they could easily cross the straits and channels which lie between China and the kingdom of Anian, as may have been seen on the globes of maps. From the kingdom of Anian, they went on exploring and colonizing those countries, the world never before seen or settled by human beings. I'm going to show you something real quick, because I have this book, and this guy tried to put us like we're not the people, right? And that's what I'm saying. That when they try hard to disprove us, they literally prove us. They prove who we are. This is from a book called, let me see if I can find it. Thought it was up. Guess it's low. Give me a second. Where are you at? Give me a second. I won't take long on this one, fam. I just put that book a little bit low. Thought it was up there. Let's see. Almost there. Posted a lot of pictures, man. It's gonna take a while. There it goes right here. Joven India Gallón del Cerrito. Look at her. Black hair. Like the sister from Songs of Solomon, right? See? That's them. That's them. That's us. A Mexican Indian wedding in voladores. Well, it's not necessarily Mongolians, man. It's Asia. Because when you see Asia, you think Japanese or Asians. Nah, bro. Asia just means like all of Shem's territory. Look, that's them. That's us. Our own government is saying it. Our own government is saying it. Watch this real quick. Yeah, I already read that to you guys. You see the pictures. It's constant. It's all. That's right. The Wanderings of the Pilgrims. That's the book that I got. That's where I got that right here. Look. I've never seen you African Americans doing this. Not in Africa. Not in America. Where's the negro voladores? That's us. That's us. Hey, look, first of all, read Genesis Bible. It's not black. H120, Adama, which means a man from red earth. Adam is ruddy. Esau, reddish of hair. Give me a second. Oh, I know where I put it. What a dummy. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to show you this. That's right. So now let's explore this real quick. So this is from Josephus, the complete works of Josephus. Okay? And this is what he says. Here, I'll do this. Shem, the third son of Noah, had 5 sons who inhabited the land that began at Euphrates and reached the Indian Ocean. For Elam left behind the Elamites, the ancestors of the Persians. Let me skip here. Arphaxad named the Arphaxadites, who are now called Chaldeans. It says here, let's see. The country lives between Palestine and Syria. Let me see. Hold on. Salah was the son of Arphaxad, and his son was Eber, from whom they originally called the Jews, Hebrews. Eber begat Joktan, like Yucatan, and Peleg, the dispersion. And he was called Peleg because it was born at the dispersion of the nations out of Asia. So there's several countries. For Peleg among the Hebrews signifies division. Now, Joktan, one of the sons of Eber, had 3 sons, Elmadad, Salaph, and Asramoth. Jerah, Adoram, as he had these sons, Kala, Ebal, Abimael, Sabias, Ophir, Eulat, and Jobab. These inhabited from Kopin and Indian River, and in parts of Asia adjoining to it. And this shall suffice concerning the sons of Shem. And check this out. Even he admits it, that the Jews come out of India. He admits it himself in the very same book. The very same book. Yeah, let me get the pictures real quick. Hold on, fam. Photos. There we go. Check out, can find it. Remember who the Chaldeans came out of, right? Arphaxad. Chaldeans came out of Arphaxad. So check this out. And then I'm just going to probably finish it with this. Okay? So just hang in there with me. Sorry, fam. Where's this book, man? Need to find this book, fam. Here it goes, right here. Got him. Got him. All right. The book is called The Jesuits and the Incas. Okay? Look, as a matter of fact, let me read Arphaxad. That's not part of the book. Arphaxad, the third son of Shem. Actually, we already read that. So let me get out of here. So this is the book right here, okay? So now let's start here on this page. Same book. It says Peruvian history was a major theme in Valera's writings. His Historia Occidentalis, History of the West, appears to have included accounts of the early origins of the Native Americans, of the Peruvians dynasty before the Incas, and of the Inca rulers themselves. Throughout the remaining fragments of his work in material pertaining to the history of the Western Hemisphere, prior to the time of the Incas, although most of Valera's writings about the pre-Incas peoples have been lost, portions of his history of American migration and the pre-Inca dynasty of Peru survived in his relation to las costumbres antiguas. as well as the works of Garcilaso, Montesino, and Anelo Olivia. Valera vehemently rejected the notion that the American Indians were the descendants of the lost tribe of Israel, a common theory in the 16th century. Okay? It says here, a few sections of remains of Valera's work on the subject. He appears speculated that the people of the Americas originated from the ancient Chaldeans. Hold on. Let me make sure I don't skip it. Yeah, it goes right here. So we're going to read for many years the few sections. I think it goes here. And in the, yeah. And in the few sections that remain of Valera's work on the subject, here, let me put it here. On the subject, he apparently speculated that the people of the Americas originated from the ancient Chaldeans, who once lived in the plains of Shinar in the Persian Gulf. The chronicler wrote that the religion of the natives of Greater Florida and the Caribbean islands was derived from the practices of the Chaldeans, who worshipped only natural features such as lakes, springs, and stars. Likewise, he claimed that the faith of the first Peruvians was molded on that of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans were renowned in biblical history for founding the city of Ur, from whence came Abraham, the father of the Hebrew nation. They were believed to have descended directly from Noah, and they became famous and learned astrologers, priests, and magicians. By linking the present Peruvians to the Chaldeans, Valera was placing the peoples of the New World into the framework of the biblical history. Valera considered the Chaldeans to be the ultimate ancestors of the people of Peru, Greater Florida, meaning all that was known of North America and the Caribbeans. What more y'all want, man? Bar Facade. Watch this real quick. No. Just talking about that book. It's talking about Arcerith. That's really it. That's the book, fam. You guys can see it. I can go into books, material, history, all kinds of stuff, man. I don't know what more do we need to show, but apparently you guys need to stop questioning yourselves. Anyhow, but outside of that, I believe that's all I got. So as you can see, family, yeah, let me see if I'm leaving anything out. That's why they're like claiming this guy is not doing much for Mexico. Because he actually is. It's weird. Really weird. Anyways, other than that, family, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much, man. Hope it was edifying. That's all I got. And hopefully, we can continue to grow, man. Continue to grow and continue to fight. That's all we got left. All we have to do is just continue to stay strong and continue this fight. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, man, if anybody wants anything to say, that's really all I got. I'm not going to be too long. Try to hit the links, family. Push this forward. We really need to continue this, man. We really need to continue this fight because we got attacks from everybody, bro. And, the last thing that anybody wants to consider is the struggles that you guys and you girls have had. And I mean it. I mean it, man. We're fighting you're fighting almost at every level. We're fighting on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on a mental level. And on top of that, we still got to raise children. Hey, look, you see like this guy here? He don't look African, nor West African. He's from India. So what can I tell you? All right. Anyhow, shalom, everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, man. Let me read this real quick, bro. Romans 3:4. God forbid, yea, let God be true. Oh, yeah, let me read that. Let me read that. That's a good scripture. Way to end it, bro. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Romans 3:3 says, for what if some did not believe? So there's a lot of you that don't believe. A lot of you are calling me a racist. You're saying I'm full of crap. But you're not coming to this channel and telling me that I'm wrong. You say I'm your brother, but you don't correct me. So that means that you're sinning with me. For what if some don't believe? I don't care. Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Effing liars, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy saying, and the mightiest overcome, and that mightiest overcome when thou art judged. What's the scripture? Let's talk about this. Or let's see. That's it. Romans 7:18. Romans 8:16. The Spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And that's what we have to keep fighting for, fam. That's what we got to keep fighting for, okay? So I appreciate you guys, man. Hey, listen, push this stuff around. By all means, use the info that I gave you. Go on Facebook, man. Take down those pages. Family, I'm telling you, man, I got tons of material. Tons of it. You guys just gotta ask, man. Gotta ask. I mean, shit, excuse my language. I need help. I need help. I need help, fam. Anyhow, let me go ahead and finish it with this here. Finish with this song here. Let me throw this real quick. All right, fam. Give me a second.
Yeah, man, real bomba clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, repeat them, repeat them. Hey, hey. La 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 la. You man a tribute from Black Uhuru Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic global sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic global sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé. Luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe. Viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre lo sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Son los más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humor esteblón. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic global sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic global sound, a dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. One I can get respect from Volume 8. My niggas on Volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of soul and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation, Below the time like this, bad boy kills, criminal love sound and rich. Money is a gun for me, respect the nation. Below the time like this, bad boy kills, criminal love sound and rich. Money is a gun for me, respect the nation. Oh, la 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just turn nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, ah. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound in
y cal. Y cal. Hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.